Welcome to Lever Up Your Life. I'm Nate Barger. I went from prison time and bankruptcy to now owning over $200 million in real estate. I want to show you guys all the mistakes I made so you don't make the same mistakes. It's time you create massive wealth for yourself. Welcome to Lever Up Podcast. I got a special guest here. Can't wait for you guys to hear his story. Maurice Philogene. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it, my man.
Maurice Philogene. See, I went to a 2 out of 10 school and I still can pronounce, baby. Hey, man, I want to thank you, man. I know we've been trying to get you on the show for like a month and a half, but our schedules and everything's been crazy. Man, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day, brother. And I want to thank you so much for your service. You were military. How long did you do in the military? Was it 25 years, I read?
I did 22 on the military side.
22 in the military. Then you came out into the private sector and did law enforcement as well.
Yeah, so I was private sector from Jump Street. Private sector since 21. Reservist in the military since 21. There were too many officers coming out of school when I was coming out, so they gave me that option. So I stayed reserve, but I did 9 years equivalent of active duty, volunteering all the time. That was 97 starting for both.
Wow.
IT consulting and the military.
So I'm doing the math and I'm thinking about your age and I'm like, man, there's no way this dude's 35, 36, man. You know, like you look like a younger Denzel Washington.
I'm pushing it. I'm 47 now. I'm
47, man.
Yeah.
Look at that touchdown. Right. Touchdown, baby. All right.
We're doing
May 8th, 75.
August 3rd.
So I'm older than you.
You got me by a few.
And it shows. It shows, man. So hey, so tell us about, I know where you're at now. You got several $100 million in assets under management. Sure. Man, you've traveled over 100 countries, right?
Yep.
So you must have grown up and come up in a very wealthy family to be able to afford to do that.
I came up in a very wealthy family when it came to education and to values and morals. But no, my family, we were not poor, but we certainly were broke. That's for sure. So my family is a Haitian immigrant family. My parents came over in the 70s. What they gave me and my brother was education. Said our job is to give you education and a chance, but once we get you to college, it's on you. So they did just that and pretty much dropped me off at the door of University of Virginia. But everything for me was about you got to get your degree, you got to get your diploma. My parents' money blueprint, similar to probably 90% of this country, was make money, save money, make money, save money, put it aside for a rainy day, get a good job. I appreciated it, but that is just not how my journey manifested itself. So
you were self-made millionaire, but how did you get there? Because you spent 22 years in the service, brother. That's man. So take us from your journey. Growing up as a kid, your parents instilled a lot of value and ethics and morals in you, right? Yep. And them you still have, and you hang on to them forever. So, guys, even if you don't have any money, that's something you can give your kids for free.
100%.
And I remember a similar story. We were poor. We ain't had no money. My dad was an alcoholic, and we found $60. Found $60 outside. My brother ran home, and I'm thinking, man, we going to get some pizza tonight, baby. My mom said, that's not your money. And she took that and she turned it into the police. And I thought, man, my friends was talking bad about my mom. We was talking bad. I can't believe. But we ended up getting that $60 back because nobody claimed it. But what that instills in you, that was absolutely free for her to do. And so even though I went on to, become a drug dealer, do other things, it was my mom that still kind of instilled those values in me. So the values that were instilled in you was, Haitian immigrant, work ethic.
Big time.
Education.
Big time.
So you went on and you went straight from high school to college?
I went straight from high school to college, University of Virginia. I actually got into the Naval Academy but turned it down because I wanted to go play pro football. Wow. Got into University of Virginia, and the value that I grew myself was freedom. I found it. I had an idea. It started when I was 15. Pop sent me overseas to France for a 30-day trip with an exchange student's family that had stayed with me the previous summer.
How old were you then?
I was 15, so this is 1990.
1990, right when crack was destroying New York, right?
And Boston.
And Boston. So you were right there in the middle of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah,
out of all that.
But yet you didn't succumb to that at all.
Well, no, I didn't. And I had good parents. We that is a
Great
leg up
parents, brother.
if
Let's
you
let's
are
let's say great parents for them.
great parents. If you are fortunate enough, not everyone's fortunate enough. I understand, but I was. And what my father did was pull. This is why I talked about environments. He pulled me out of my environment and he put me into a new one. France. 30 days, stick shift, 83 Range Rover, driving around the country. Changed me.
Wow.
Changed me as a kid. So that's 15. Fast forward to 21. Graduate with a mechanical engineering degree after having played football at University of Virginia. I
Wow,
picked
what
up
position did you play?
safety.
Oh man, that's awesome, brother. Do you ever go back
Yeah.
there?
I go back from time to time. Like in my class was people like Tiki Barber, Rondé Barber, Charles Way,
Wow.
who played for the Giants, Percy Ellsworth, who played for the Giants. Like I had a good class. I gave it a good
Come on,
tryout
man.
or
That's
two.
being a little humble, brother. That's the best class University of Virginia's ever had, brother. Come on now.
It's probably the best. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's probably the best class they ever had. That 4-year session. It was humbling though, brother, because my dream of playing NFL ball kind of like I had one tryout, and I realized I needed to try out for something else, but I gave it a shot, and that was okay by me. But the game changer that led me to real estate and wealth was I picked up Personal Finance for Dummies. Remember them old yellow
Yeah,
series of
yellow and
books?
black books. Uh-huh.
There you
Uh-huh.
go. It had one phrase in it that never left my heart:
What
passive
was
income.
it?
Passive income.
Passive
I read it.
income.
I learned about passive income in 1998. I bought my
Wow.
first place in 2002, beginning of the boom cycle back then, especially in DC. I bought 10 in 1 year. By 2014, I had bought 35. I paid off 18 of them. That was
Wow.
160 grand of passive income. And I realized, just like you and I was talking about, my basic needs were met.
Mm-hmm.
Once you figure that out, then life just changes.
It
It
does.
just changes. So I found my own level of I wanted the same feelings that I had back in France when I was 15, when I realized that life could feel and look and taste different. And
Wow.
because I had that passive income coming in, I knew that I could do pretty much what I want, where I want, when I wanted. But we're talking about, 13 grand a month. We're not talking about 80 million in the bank. That's what people have twisted. The definition
Mm-hmm.
is wrong. The
Yes.
definition should be more income than you have expenses. And I stayed at that lower level. That's what enabled all this other business journey stuff since then.
Absolutely, brother. I couldn't say it better myself. Mine was 10,000 a month, and when I hit that,
Change.
crazy thing happened, brother. Within 8 months, I hit 35,000 a month. Because you know why? After I got to 10 grand, I was no longer working for money. I didn't
No.
care. And I said, nah, I ain't doing that deal. It's not profitable enough.
Right.
And by doing that, you create your own value for your time.
Yes, very much so.
And that's
Very
what you
much.
talk about and what you teach people is thinking outside the box.
Absolutely.
What do you
Absolutely.
mean by that? I mean, are you telling me that becoming a millionaire just starts with an idea?
It starts with the audacity to know that you can. There's nobody. My man Steve Harvey's my fraternity brother. Steve Harvey said something so great. He said, if you tell your dream to the wrong person, then that dream will fizzle.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be rich, what's stopping you?
Yes.
Just start
Yes.
taking steps. The only thing that's going to stop you is you.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
I just did that bullshit. I took
And
money
he's
from my
so
paycheck,
inspirational.
paid
He's got so many good.
back.
He's amazing, man. He's amazing.
He's the best, and he's relatable. That's why people, and he didn't get no college.
He's from
degree.
Cleveland, baby. You know he is. Like,
yeah,
he original, man. OG.
Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm a Patriots fan, so Ohio is a tough one for me, man. But
Well, I'm from Cincinnati, so we haven't offended anybody. We haven't won any titles
Not
since
yet.
1990. So,
not yet.
you
Not
can't be
yet.
mad at us, man.
No.
Yeah.
You guys are very much due. But
Yeah.
that was the start of the journey. It was a freedom thing. It was never a money thing. And in 2014, after all those single family homes, you know what happened? I realized that just like 9 to 5, you know how people press repeat on a 9 to 5?
Yep.
I was pressing repeat on the entrepreneurial stuff with the single family, and I said I needed a new challenge. In comes multifamily. I had limiting beliefs. It took me 2 years to do my first deal. That was 2018. And since 2018, I've done 32 multifamily deals.
Shoo.
Everything's like, you can do what you want if you say you are going to do it. You put aces in their places, meaning the right people. You get rid of limiting beliefs. I'm not saying it's easy, but time's going to pass anyway.
No. Listen. Easy and hard are relative.
Very.
Some people tell me it's hard to find contractors. I said, man, what you been through in life? What have you been through in life that defines that as being hard?
Right.
You know, you ever been shot? You ever been shot at? You ever been in a, I mean, why is that hard and you got a cell phone to find a contractor?
It's people's, here's hard. Being a senior executive 9 to 5 during the day, being a street cop at night full time, doing the military on the side, and self-managing 50 units for 15 years. So when people tell me I don't have time to do X, I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Hey, give me your phone. Give me your phone. Here, give me your phone. Let me see. Open up. Man, what is this right here? You spent 14 hours on Facebook this week.
Yeah, exactly.
This week. Don't tell me you don't have time. Yeah. Tell me that you don't want to make time. Yeah. It's like me. I tell you, and I told somebody this, and listen, man, we got to own it too. We can't just preach to people. I tell people, I want to be fat. And people say, man, you really want to be fat? I must want to, because if I didn't want to, then I would do something about it, right?
You're owning it.
You got to. I mean, it's like, tell me you want to be poor. Let me see what you're doing with your money. See, you are intentionally keeping yourself poor. Now, you have to intentionally get your money every month, every week, and you have to intentionally spend every freaking penny of it.
Yep.
Every freaking penny. And you got to do this over and over and over and over and over again. And then you have to not invest a single penny to stay poor. I have to intentionally take the Twinkie or the steak out of the wrapper, cut it, put it up to my mouth. But before I do that, I have to make a conscious decision to drive to the store to get it in the first place. So tell me I'm not sabotaging myself, man. I have great discipline when it comes to money, but when it comes to food, man, that is my place I go. You know, because I need to reward myself. I don't need no reward. You already fat. You don't need no food, Nate. But look, I'm gonna own it. You know, I'm just gonna own it, man. That's where I'm at.
Own it, brother. You own it, and you understand that we are all fallible in so many different ways. It's very easy behind a microphone to be like, yeah, I did this, and this. Yeah, but all you're seeing is the high moments. You're not seeing the low moments of like, it's Saturday and we're doing tenants, termites, and toilets, and
yeah.
There's always tough stuff going on in the background too.
So the moral of the story, what we're telling you guys, is that if you can be skinny, you can be wealthy. It's all discipline, different types of discipline.
I like that.
Yeah. So if you can do one thing well, then you just need to transfer to another thing, which is when you talk about living your life. Like I wake up every day, man, and people like, they say, man, I used to work 100, 110 hours a week. And they said, man, I don't know how you can work like that. I said, man, I don't know how you could work for 40 years and still be broke.
And
so
it's
for
not
me,
work when you love it.
Yeah, for me, it was a lot of work, but I knew I was racing towards that one thing. You know, the one thing I was racing towards, that $10,000 a month. Once I got there, I was like, I ain't never got to work again if I don't want. You know, and then that's when it gets really, but that's where you talk about thinking outside the box and limited belief thinking. Who told you that you couldn't be wealthy? So explain that, and please, man, elaborate on that.
My phrase is try life on. That's my phrase. You can do any, and I hate, it sounds like a someone on a soapbox preaching or something, but it's true. It is so true. You can literally do anything you want. When I wanted to become a street cop in 2008, while being an executive, I found a way. When I wanted to go back to the NFL and try out again at age 26, when I hadn't even played football in 5 years, I found a way to do that. I told you I wanted to live in the Mediterranean in 2015 after serving there. Doesn't matter that it took 7 years and it just started in 2020. Last week, Nate, 2 weeks ago, I was in Cyprus. I signed official papers to own 2 foreign companies. Me, immigrant kid. I own companies in the Mediterranean now. If you
Wow.
want to do it, you can do it. It is a choice. And if you are not, and here's the thing. Here's what people forget. We're adults. We forgot to dream.
Mm.
Remember that? Remember that when you and I were in kindergarten and we would dream and we would throw paint on the walls and be all over the place?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we got into grade school and it was compliance. Yes, sir. No, sir. Have them sign this permission slip. Then we get into high school and college. It's all competition. I got to be the MVP. I got to be the valedictorian, the prom king, queen, and all. And that shit translates to the work world where everybody's competing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
Yep.
Create with each other.
There you
Go do
go.
something.
There you
So the
go.
way that I get people to try life on, you write down your perfect day in minute detail, like excruciating detail. Where are you? How does it feel? What's the emotion behind it? Then what is your personal life blueprint to match it? My personal life blueprint, I want to be mobile. I don't like a lot of shit. I want great friends. I don't want to be stuck on K Street in DC in a box all day. Once you know your personal blueprint of how you want to live, you get your work blueprint on top of it to match it. You build the business that matches it, or you take the virtual job that matches it, or you take the career that matches it. Too many people come out of high school and college and they go right to the career that makes the most money. But what they forget to do is take the career that enables the lifestyle you don't need
Yes.
vacation from.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah,
There is a formula to
it's
it.
called delayed gratification.
100%. Delayed gratification multiplied by a design lifestyle equals lifestyle you'll never need a vacation from. When you are working your 100 hours a week, that's not work for you.
It's not work. It's not work.
That's just you doing what you do because it
You
generally
wake
makes
up
you
every
happy.
day. Guys, I want you to experience what he's talking about. I
Yep.
experience it. Every day I don't wake up and regret what I got to do. I embrace it. You know, like today I said, man, I got 3 great people to talk to on podcast. I got somebody that's building a Hyatt hotel today, and they
Nice.
called us over there, and they're having problems with the construction. And you know, I just told them, I said, look, I can come in. I got a team that can knock this out and finish it out for you. They said, how much you gonna charge me? I said, man, I need equity. I don't work for money. I need equity, and I will knock it out of the park for you. And then they said, well, we don't give up equity. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't work for money. You know, and then I gave them the deal that I told you about. I said, look, we got a deal that we're going to make 60 to 100 million on, right? I said, to put that in perspective, me and Mike are going to use our own money. We have the owners carrying back 3 million. We have, I think, 5 million in pace, 6 million in pace. So we are doing this deal with little and no money out of pocket, right? It's all about knowing how to strategize and put the deal together. But we're going to make $60 million off that deal for about 1,000 hours worth of work.
Love it.
So to put that in perspective, like, I don't work for money. Like, I just don't. I work for equity, and I would rather donate my time and do stuff for free, right? But the construction component, you got to get paid, because that's what do they call it, man? That's brain damage when you're doing that. You know Kenny Russian?
Nah.
Oh, man, you should meet Kenny. He out of Tampa. That's my buddy, man. But he always say that brain damage, man.
Brain. Oh, what my girl Kim say? My business partner, she dang bramage. Maurice, I have dang bramage.
Hey, can I ask you something though? So you said 2 things that really resonated with me, right? You've been to over 100 countries, right? You're a Haitian immigrant.
Yep.
And then, you know, you grew up with great parents who instilled a lot in you, but they probably didn't have a lot because they were working to give you everything, and they sacrificed their life for you, right?
Yeah, they sure did.
But that sacrifice that his parents made didn't just change him. It changed the trajectory of their family tree. And as that family tree begins to go out, you're going to see the change right there. They made the change to get over here to this country to make the sacrifice. So what are you going to do for your kids to make the sacrifice today, guys? I'm asking you. And I want to ask you this. If you were to go back in time, knowing what you know now about mental, right? Could you have made the NFL?
Yes. I wasn't ready, and I wasn't disciplined, and I didn't have it. What I had was a love for the game, but not a passion for it. I really enjoyed I still enjoy it. I watch it. But I was not disciplined enough. I didn't have the Mamba mentality, the Kobe mindset the Michael Jordan state. I didn't have that.
So you weren't willing to outwork. So you had limited. You know how we talk about the limited beliefs.
Yeah.
You had limited work ethic.
I didn't have a big enough. No, I won't say that. But what I will say is my definition of football wasn't the right definition.
What did you need
when
to
I went
change?
after real estate, I was going after freedom. So nothing stopped me when it came to real. Nothing does stop me when it comes to real estate or lifestyle design, because it has to do with life and freedom. When I was going after the NFL, what do you think I was chasing? Money and fame. It's the wrong thing to go after.
Wow. So money truly doesn't motivate you.
No, God,
as much as passion.
Money is a byproduct of doing something you love. The reason I'm 200 million or whatever, it doesn't even matter. I could care less what people have, as long as you have to execute your life. That's your definition. But the reason I've been able to do what I've been able to do in real estate and going around the world is because I had a passion for life. And when I was chasing the NFL, I had a passion for what my boys told me was cool.
Wow.
It was very, very different. So I have 5 freedoms that I go after. Financial freedom, time freedom, geographic freedom, freedom to execute on your purpose. I became a police officer when I was 33 years old to be a part of my local community. Freedom to execute on your purpose. And the last one, which is why I'm happy to meet you today, freedom to build meaningful relationships with extraordinary people. If I'm stuck in the box with the 4 walls on K Street in DC at a job I hate, when am I going to meet Nate? How am I going to make relationships outside of my normal circles? You don't have freedom of relationships when you're stuck doing the bullshit you don't want to do. You have to make a concerted effort that building relationships with extraordinary people and doing stuff around the world or in your city has to be a normal part of your day-to-day, not networking with the executives from the same office day and day to get the title that gives you 20 grand extra a year.
Yeah.
That's not extraordinary.
No. And look, not to talk bad, but they're stuck. You can follow their life path, and it's not gonna go too far from where they're at, because they're working on somebody else's goals, right?
Somebody else's dream.
And so, you know what the old saying, man, it's a paycheck is what they give you to forget about your dreams.
But I'll caveat that by saying, because I spent 25 years in the corporate world happily, and my caveat is, a career should be a purpose or purposeful. Being a street cop, being in the military, doing affordable housing, that's a purpose for me. I love it. I want to help people. But when I was getting those 2 paychecks from my company, my IT consulting firm, it was purposeful. So I had a reason to be there. My purposefulness for it was those 2 paychecks. I knew why I was getting up every day. So I was generally never stressed, because, nah, man, I'm going to the office to get these 2 paychecks so I can go invest in real estate. So in 2022, I can be interviewed by Nate. I knew what I was doing. But other people go to the office or go to their W-2 meaningless, with no definition for why they're doing it.
But look what you were doing. It was intentional.
Very.
Even though you didn't really understand where it was going, you did it with intent. 2002, you bought your first property.
Yeah.
You didn't really get financial freedom till 2014. But what a lot of you guys didn't hear was he paid off half his property.
Yeah.
That was delayed gratification. He didn't need to do that. He could have took that money and bought the Ferrari or did whatever. But the delayed gratification, it is something that I hear from millionaires over and over and over and over again. They were disciplined in their money. Then when you get the money, you go do whatever you want, right? You go to Cyprus, you start companies up. But you have to understand that none of us were overnight successes. No. And the 12 years that we're talking about, he owned real estate. We ain't even talking about the 20 years or 15 years leading up to that when he did business and understood the sacrifice. So for those of you that are struggling, I need you to know that with 100% certainty, you can become financially secure and become a multimillionaire. But it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen without some sacrifice, which is why I tell you, what is your why? So what was your why?
Freedom has been, will always be, and I will die with that word in my head. The ability to do what you want, when you want, where you want, how you want. Now, the reason I'm still doing, so my current deal right now is $40 million, 240 unit. The beautiful thing, Nate, is opportunity, right? Everyone's running for the hills right now. If I would have bought that complex in January of 2022, it would have been 48 million. We got under contract for 39 million right now, right? When we sell it, it'll be about 68 million. So we'll make about $30 million on it. I have to do that deal. You know why? One, my investors expect it. So that's the first. I'll just put them aside for 1 second, but they mean a lot to me because it took a lot of life energy to create that money to invest it. But the second reason why I have to do that deal.
Whoa. Hold a second thought. Tell them what it took to create the money again.
Yep. People don't understand that when people invest money, 6 figures, 7 figures, 5 figures, 4 figures, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, it is life energy to create those dollars. Those dollars are just a representation of life.
Wow.
So when my investors come to me and say, "Hey Mo, can you help me put this 100 grand into a deal?" I don't think that it's 100 grand. I think it's the 4 years that they work to save it. It is very different. People look at this shit like, "Oh, it's just money." No.
It's the sacrifice of their time. That is the sacrifice. That is if you took their life and you took a block, they're giving you a block of their life. 100%. They're saying, "Here goes part of my life. Go do something with it."
And that's why I feel so responsible when it comes to my investors. It's not, "Oh, I'm going to take their money and I'm going to go invest it and make money for myself." Bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to make money.
That right there defines character. And when I found out that investors don't really care about returns, I mean, they look at them, but they want to know, who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah. What are you going to do to make sure, because something's going to happen. I'm a professional investor. Something's going to happen in that deal. How are you going to deal with it? I'm going to deal with it knowing that you gave me a block of your life. I'm going to make something happen out of this. What are you going to do when you have floods? I am going to remember that I am in charge of part of your life, and I'm going to deal with that effectively and with quick resolution. That's it. That's asset managing, and that's property management.
People don't people don't see it that way, which is really disheartening to me. But regardless, I never compare myself to other operators. It's irrelevant.
But your parents instilled that in you because you've seen them work hard for their money. Same way as me.
Come home 6 o'clock, 6:30 from being both my parents are 30-year educators. My dad would come home, climb the stairs, go to the living room, lean back on the living room chair in his suit, put his suitcase down, fall asleep, and wake up at 8:30, 8:45 p.m. and hasn't eaten dinner yet. I'll never forget it. And it was a 5-day affair. So when people work for their money, it's not just this piece of fiat thing that they're giving over. It's the years of sweat, and I couldn't pick up the kid, and I couldn't go to his practice, and I hated my boss, and da-da-da-da-da. It is a joy to help investors invest their money, because that money is going to help them do something even better for their family. That's why I do this stuff now. I just love it. You probably got the passion out of me in that case, but that's exactly why I'm still in this business, because we're helping a lot of people.
And sorry, I did cut you off. You
it's
said
okay.
number 2.
The number 2 reason why I'm still doing real estate, and I have to do it at the scale that I'm doing it at, because I have philanthropy goals that require me writing a 7-figure check.
Man, so listen, man, it is no different. And what you guys got to understand is that there has to be something deeper than you driving you.
Yeah.
And so if we look at the 2 wealthiest people in the world right now, their goal is similar: to get to Mars and save the world.
Yes.
Not to make money.
It's
not to make money. It's to save the world. And so they had to dream bigger.
Yeah.
So you have to dream bigger, man. And if you dream about saving the world, you're going to do something that's so crazy outside the box that the byproduct of that is going to be you becoming the wealthiest person in the world.
Byproduct
Byproduct
of passion is money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I love it. Every day I get up, I love what I do.
Man, me too, brother. And I mean, man, I'm blown away with your mindset about things. And I need to ask you,
Yeah.
my son's not home. Okay, so I need to ask you about my son. No, because listen, my son absolutely sucked at baseball. He
Uh-huh.
played baseball for 6 or 7 years, and last year he turned 14. And me and my wife were actually in Kiev. You ever been to Kiev?
I have not been to Kiev yet. No.
Beautiful city. I mean, one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. I'm sure now it looks different. This was before Russia
Yeah,
invaded.
yeah, yeah. Of course.
And so we're over there, and I'm like, man, I got to get back. They made it to the playoffs, and even though my son was probably one of the worst kids on the team, um, and I didn't say that to him, and I asked him. I said, well, where do you think you rank at on your team? And he thought really highly of himself, you know, and I just was like, and then I got him with this trainer, and then he hit it. He just started having passion about it. Last year, 14. He's 15 now, and he believes in his mind. That's why I asked, could you make it? That he's going to make it to the majors. Now, he works out 5 or 6 days a week. He goes over there 3 hours a day. He works out. You know, he's 15 now. He's been working out, you know, probably 5 or 6 months. He's deadlifting 400 pounds. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting there. He's doing everything he needs to do. When he's not there, I put a batting cage in the basement for him. He's down there hitting. He's down there throwing the ball. He's down there studying game field footage. I got him, you know, a footwork coach. I got him a hitting coach. I got him a fielding coach. I got him a strength and conditioning trainer.
Yep.
Everything, right? And it's great to see his passion. And he told me, you know, he knows I want a Ferrari F40. I was like, yeah, that's my favorite car. He said, Dad, I'm going to buy you one. He said, and the one I'm going to get you is going to be the upper version. It's $6 million, right?
Damn.
And he said, but I want you to drive it. You know, I don't want you to just let it sit in the garage like your other cars. And I said, and then so I asked him maybe a couple months ago, he's been chasing this dream. And I always told him, don't have a plan B. Don't have a plan B. That means that you're planning to fail. And
Plan
so
B.
I asked him, I said, hey, Caden, man, you think you really want to, you want to get in and do some real estate stuff? And you know what he said to me? He said, what, you don't think I'm going to make it to the majors?
Oh,
That's what he told me, right? So
that's scary. Scary good.
yeah, he said, you
say
don't
that.
think I'm going to, I said, what do you mean by that, son? I said, no, man, you just, you know, you need to learn the real estate. He said, Dad, you told me I don't need a plan B. And I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
He listened to you. He listened to you.
Listen, yeah. But then so you said that you could have made it to the NFL, right? What can I do to help him get to the majors? What do I have to do? What do I have to sacrifice?
So you and I are in a similar position. My oldest son, he's autistic, and I explained to him, but physically he can compete with anyone. So he's training to be a professional bodybuilder and will be on his first stage in November, and he's 22.
Wow.
What I told him, I said, do you want to come with me on the real estate stuff? Do you want to come around the world? He said, no, Dad, I want to do the physical stuff because then people will like me. This kind of social, you know, autistic kids have a very tough time with social interaction. But because he's physically able, he gets respect. He said, Dad, I want to stay physical.
Wow.
Okay, well, you're not NFL. You're not. What do you? So he chose bodybuilding, and I said, then that's what we're gonna do. And anytime, yes, you have to work, but your number one job is to excel at bodybuilding. There is no plan B. I got nothing for you, Chief. You focus on this. If you tell me that you are ultimately committed to this thing, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, I will find you the best resources possible. That's the ability that you and I have as generation breakers in our family. I have financial ability to impact his life. So now he's training with a former Mr. Olympia 4 days a week at my expense. And I am
that is amazing, brother.
I'm very happy about it. So when it comes to your son, to me, it's the same thing as what resources can we provide? And there is no plan B. We have a net that we can use in the future if necessary, but that net is not even going to come into question right now because there is a path that's already set.
Wow.
We go that path until we can't.
So I need to push him harder, though. I feel like I need to push him harder.
If you can't do it, because I can't push my son hard and everything. He's in Atlanta. I'm in DC now. If you can't do it, then there's got to be someone in the place that is doing it. We all need coaches, you know it.
Mm-hmm.
We can self motivate for so long until we need the skill set and the mindset and the heart set and the soul set of somebody else to show us what we never even knew was possible.
Yeah,
You and I
that's
can
true,
provide
man. So Jenny Craig, if you're watching, I need your mentorship.
Why you messing, man?
Hey, man.
love it.
So, but that is, man, you are such an amazing speaker. Where are you gonna be speaking at?
Anywhere people will have me, man. I'm talking about this stuff quite a bit. There's a website, Try Life On, that just went up in beta. People can find me there. I'm working on some media projects right now, including a couple of docu-series that will probably come out in like maybe a year or less. I
Man, I
don't
gotta
care. I
have you
just
at
want
my
to get
next
myself
event,
out there.
man. I gotta have you at my next event.
I would, bruh, if I would be honored.
Maurice,
I
look,
would be honored.
I'm doing I'm buying this hotel. Me and Mike are buying this hotel, and we making a lot of money. We're buying. It's 577 rooms. It's 2 hotels, amazing areas, and I'll break the numbers down for you, man. We're at LOI right now. We should be under contract by the end of this week.
Yeah.
But man, I'm telling you, the real reason wasn't that we could make a ton of money. The real reason I was like, man, we need somewhere we can put our events on. Because I did this last
Why
event.
not in your own place?
Huh?
Why not in your own place?
That's vertical integration, right? And so
Yeah.
we bought this hotel so we could be vertically integrated and have our own space. But I paid this guy $35,000 to do our sound and our light. And I was like, man, what if we just bought our own for like $100,000 and laid it out? Because it wasn't even nice. It was just okay.
Yeah.
And Joe Fairless?
Yep.
So Joe, he's a buddy. He's from Cincinnati. And so I said, Joe, man, they charged me $35,000. And he said, Nate, I just paid $30,000 for Wi-Fi at my last event. And I was like, oh.
I'm not on that level yet, man. One day maybe, but that's the reality. But Nate, why not have your own name on it? Why not you? Why not you providing the venue to bring others up? Get these hotels.
Yeah. No. We're getting it, brother, and it's gonna be amazing. But I'm gonna lay it out so any of my social media friends that want to use it, man, they don't have to pay all that money. They come in. I'm gonna keep it set up all the time, and we're not gonna do like I'm going to China to source the screens because the screens are $450 a screen, but I can get them in China from the factory at $64. But I want to go look at them and see how they're built, and make sure that before we do this big wall that we're getting the right stuff. Plus, I want an excuse to go to China. I love China.
Lifestyle, brother. Right? We should have all this fun while we're doing all this business and engaging people. That's the beauty of it.
Man, so what's next for you?
Keep living, keep experiencing, and keep learning. Coming down off one mountaintop, going to the bottom of another to try and climb it and meet people. I'm doing some stuff in the media space now. I sought out a mentor because I don't know anything about it, and I think I can help a ton of people. And why not start something new where you get to learn again and not be I don't want to be the guy in the room who knows everything. I want to be the guy in the room who doesn't know everything, and people are around me that I can learn from or what have you.
Are you on TikTok?
Not on TikTok yet, man.
You got to get TikTok. TikTok is easy to grow.
Now that I have more time freedom, I can probably, it's something that's on my mind. I'm very active on Instagram and LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn.
Man, it's so hard to grow on those platforms. It's so hard.
LinkedIn is still organic. TikTok,
man, I got like 11,000 on Instagram, and it's hard to grow.
It is hard to grow.
I'm about to hit 100,000 on TikTok, but I think I can get to 1 million. I grew to 100,000. My videos suck. I don't even know why you guys watch them. They're horrible. I just learned. Huh?
You have something good to say, obviously.
It's not something. Look, let me tell you, Steve. You know Steve, right? Carlitz.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man, he gave it to me. He gave me the whole blueprint. I'm going to share it with you. Why in the F do I want to give you 30 seconds of my time, Nate? Tell me. And then I sent him a video of it. He was like, it's horrible. It's horrible. Nobody cares. Why do I care? And I was like, so in TikTok, people coming on there for 30 seconds. That's all you got me for is 30 seconds. Why do I care? Tell me why I care. Why should I give you 30 seconds of my life? Remember those blocks we talk about in life? Yeah. Why should I give you 30 seconds, Nate? Yeah. So you have to make it very relevant to them. So,
fair enough.
You know, you, with all the content that you got, I think you do really good. I think you do really good, right?
I appreciate that, man. And as one of my older mentors told me, Maurice, and people like Nate, especially because I know your journey and I'm very respectful of it.
I'm just glad you didn't bust me back in the days, man.
No, I was the dude who was more worried about, like, yo, how'd you get to this spot? No, we're not going to go that route. Let's go this route instead. That's why I love being a street cop so much, because I had that option. You know what I mean?
But what led you to do that? Was it seeing your community be destroyed, or because DC's pretty rough, man?
DC's rough, but you know, when I got deployed for 9/11, I was all over the world as a federal agent doing all types of amazing stuff, chasing down fugitives and reuniting families and just amazing stuff. And then I get back to the United States into corporate life, and I'm like, why am I helping these people increase their bottom line? I really struggled with it. So I decided to be a street cop in my local community because I was just good at it. And I did it for 15 years, and I still have shop owners to this day calling me, asking me for stuff. I'm going to my buddy's wedding on Saturday, who's still on my old shift from back in the day.
Wow.
Back in the day. I just retired. I left the police department in September of 2021.
Man, thank you so much.
I had to do it for my life, man. You got one life to try things on, to try life on, to do what you want. That's why I keep telling everybody, you got to do things.
Do it all, man. Do it all, brother. So, man, I appreciate your time, brother. I got to tell you, man, this is probably the best interview I've ever done, man.
Oh, shit. Thanks, brother.
I mean, I've done some amazing ones. I've done some, but man, like the vibe, it's just a vibe, brother. Where can people get more of this at?
So thank you. So trylifeon.com. It's in beta now. It'll be up and running within 2 weeks. Trylifeon.com. Maurice Philogene on LinkedIn for sure. And
you got your .com?
I got my .com. Everything's coming. You know how Steve is, right? Like everything's on its way. All those worldly travels and the fact that I'm in Lebanon and Turkey all the time, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how I've met people, how I never travel like a tourist, all that stuff is on Instagram. And according to my man Nate, I guess I'm going to give myself a little bit of TikTok love at some point in the future.
Go get it. Maurice Philogene, the same. Go get that handle. You got to go get it.
Yeah, man. I will. And then wait, one more thing. Business-wise, I'm always happy to talk to people about real estate. And that's Quattro Capital. The Quattro Way, W-A-Y, thequattroway.com. We're an add value alternative investment firm. Everything from land to renovating apartment buildings to doing overseas development is right there. But more so, I just want to help people design their life, and real estate is a tool for it. So if you just want to shoot the breeze with me about how real estate supports that, how you can live better, just track me down there, thequattroway.com.
Well, man, I'd love to talk to you some more too, brother. We'll talk offline.
Sure.
Man, huge opportunities for, I tell people that the hardest part, and once you figure it out, is the managing of it. Because if it wasn't that, we would just buy the whole world. I mean, literally, just buy everything. Yes. But the management piece is the one that is very hard to scale because it's intricate as dealing with the people.
Yes.
So, the money, that's just paper. Now execute that. But executing that is not super hard, but setting up those systems consistently, getting people to believe in those systems is really getting them on board, man. So, brother, you've done some amazing stuff, man. I want to thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it, man. You got an amazing story, brother. Look forward to crushing it. Guys, Maurice Philogene, thank you so much for coming on Lever Up Your Life, baby.
Thanks for listening to Lever Up Your Life. If you could do me a huge favor and go lever up my reviews, leave me a 5-star review. I appreciate it. And if you guys want to keep the conversation going, reach out to me on Nate.Barger on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And get in our free Facebook group. We got over 200,000 members. BRRRR Invest. We'll see you in the next episode.